Oh, how you doing, Paul? Good to see you.
This
Yeah,
morning, and the sun is shining.
yeah, yeah. You can't. Yeah, that's rare, right? These days, don't get a lot of sunshine at the moment, so it's good to see it.
Yes. And how are you? Because you were not 100% last week.
No. I've been a little bit. I've been under the weather the last week or so, so it's been about recovery really. So I haven't got loads to report, which is a shame because we were meant to see each other, weren't we? And for a lunchtime. Apologies to you, Paul, for not making that because I was really looking forward to it. But
Yeah, there's me at a restaurant, just me on my own,
you're
and
right.
people looking at me like, feeling sad for me. Yeah, it's terrible. No, it's a great show, but we'll reschedule and we'll
Yeah,
do it bigger and better. Don't worry about
but
that.
you had a busy week, right, in London. So what did you get up to?
I had a phenomenal week. So good. You're right. I was in London 4 days out of five, which is always brilliant, and just doing lots of really interesting stuff. So nailing the thinking around brand positioning, talking to some marketeers about their skills, talking to some customers of a customer about how that customer positions themselves in the marketplace. So it was just brilliant. It was brilliant. And to top, I'm gonna brag now. It's not a humble brag. It's just a brag. And to top it all off, I finished with a personal best in the 10K on Sunday mornings.
Did
Yeah,
you?
get in.
That's a great way to top off a great week, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
great
yes.
stuff.
It's a good lesson to say, think about this. Start your running slower, and then if you do that right, as you get older, you can get faster.
Well, I was just wondering that is a good thought because then you don't feel like you're kind of losing it, right? Because you know that
Yes. What are you trying
yeah
to say? Yeah, I'm not losing it, Warren.
no, you're
I've got
getting
a
better.
personal best. So
Yeah,
sandbag in
yeah.
order to preserve your self-esteem for the future. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Well,
So
well,
as you can tell, I'm still buzzing off the back of that.
yeah,
How
yeah.
about you? How about you? Apart from being poorly, Gordy, how's the rest of your week been?
Yeah, just trying to get round to doing bits of work, obviously at my work. While I've been ill, so that's been kind of the focus, and then that's it really. I haven't been able to get, 'cause I haven't been able to get out much. I haven't been able to get out of the house too much, unfortunately, because it really did knock me out. So just reading up on bits
It
when I
sounds
can.
like you had the plague or something.
No, it did paralyse me for a night. It just knocked my body shut down completely. So yeah, it was a strange one. But I am on the road to recovery now, as you can see. I'm feeling fit and healthy.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you see? What have you seen this week then, Paul? Have you seen anything around in the marketing world?
Well, yeah, yes and no. So I've been so busy gadding around that I've not had time to sort of contemplate big
Yeah.
marketing, current affairs issues. But what did happen, which I thought there was some interesting truth in this, was I went on a hike on Saturday. And not
Yes.
just any hike, but it was a hike for vegans, organized by the Vegan Hiking Club,
Yeah.
which it's been around for a couple of years and maybe a bit longer. I've been involved as a member for about 6 months. And one person has set it up. And the idea is that vegans get together and they go for walks, go for
Yeah.
hikes. And what was remarkable was this hike took place in the New Forest. And people came from Liverpool, they came from Shropshire, they came from the East Midlands, they
Wow.
came from Bournemouth. So people travelled 1.5, 2, 3 hours or more to be there. And I thought, what does this tell us? What does this tell us about life, the universe, and everything? And it felt to me, it's something about, if you think vegan hikers, as a marketeer, we'd probably say, yeah, it's a very, very small target market, that. Why would you bother? But actually, it's not really that small. It's quite dispersed. If you get them
Yeah.
all in a room, it's going to be a pretty crowded room. Get them all on a
Yeah.
hike, it's going to be a pretty busy hike.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, we can sometimes think that markets are small, whereas in fact they're just highly dispersed. So I thought that was quite
It's
interesting.
good. Yeah.
And I thought, well, what's the functional need here? Because you can go for a walk in Liverpool.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the New Forest to go
Yeah.
for a walk. And clearly, there's an emotional
Yeah.
need, which is to spend time with other like-minded
It's about
people.
community.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. It's about community, it's about identity.
Yeah.
And I think that as marketeers, we often think about the functional benefits, but of course,
not
those
the
emotional
social.
benefits. Belonging is a far stronger magnet than functional benefits. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really, really interesting. You're thinking of coming, aren't you? You're going to join. I can tell.
Well, the hiking, yeah, I've got to turn vegan though, Paul, haven't I, to do that? So I
There you
could do
go.
that. I could do that for a bit. I could try it, couldn't I? Never done vegan.
No, you got to be careful now because someone said to me yesterday, I could come. I said, look, you can't be vegan for the day.
No. I wouldn't do that. I'd fully commit.
You'd have to fully commit. But I think it
There's
just
something
felt
in that.
like, yeah, I think so. And we talk about targeting people, but
Mm.
really what that group is doing is serving people. It's serving a need
Yeah,
for community and identity and belonging and creating an amazing, I suppose, emotional connection to
yeah.
the vegan hiking club. And I just felt that was really quite optimistic. And I thought to myself, if as a marketeer I ever think, oh, that audience is too small,
Actually, it's
maybe
not.
that's not true. Maybe they're just waiting for somewhere that enables them to congregate and it feels like home.
And it can grow from that, right?
Yeah, I completely. So that was my sort of observation
Yeah,
from a very enjoyable sunny hike on Saturday, which
yeah.
made me just reevaluate the idea of when is a target really
Well,
looks small, but it's actually not.
you said something there about things not just being functional, not thinking about products or things that you're offering into the world as functional, but social. I remember speaking to someone, we spoke about that, the three things that make a brand great, and it's the functional, it's the social, it's the emotional.
Mm.
So it's a few things together for me, and I think you're right. I think maybe we overlook the social quite a lot, actually, and the community side of things, and people really rallying behind something or something, like a joint shared interest,
Yeah,
and maybe, in this world where there is a lack of people being together now in face to face, and actually that's probably overlooked a bit. I think people are yearning for that a bit more than we realise,
yeah,
perhaps. Maybe that's
yeah.
unsaid.
I think that's true. I think we all want community. We all want
Yeah,
to feel we belong.
yeah.
And so, yeah, there's definitely something as marketeers we can think about on that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so thank you for humouring me as I talked about
I never
that,
humour
that,
you,
that.
Paul. Always.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind. But no, I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. How about you? What have you noticed or experienced?
I've just been thinking about ways of working, actually, and what got me thinking about it was I saw Mr. Mark Ritson, in the Drum now. He's in the Drum, isn't he? Columnist in the
Mm,
Drum, not Marketing
mm.
Week. And Andrew Tyndall, who's also a columnist in the Drum. This might say a lot about me, but I just caught a headline about a free pint of Guinness that they're giving away to all marketers. I don't know if you saw this, Paul.
I did, yes.
And obviously I like Guinness, so it kind of pricked my ears up. But the reason that they're doing it was round they feel like they need to reward marketers because it's tough times out there, isn't it, right? And so everyone deserves a pint or some sort of reward. But he also said something around getting away from tactics, and the only way to do that is to get into the pub out of the office and really just looking at diagnosis and strategy and like what's wrong currently with what you're doing and how do you fix it, essentially. And the only way to do that is to be in the pub because you can have an honest conversation and really get into things. And then I saw another post, and I mentioned to him last week, I think, Sir John Hegarty, about creativity and how you can't having a brainstorm on a Thursday morning at 10 o'clock is not going to suddenly produce this amazing bit of creative comes in kind of different forms and different ways, right? It doesn't just come because you've put this brainstorm in and you're suddenly going to come up with the right idea. You might do, but his argument is that creativity comes through in different ways, and it just got me thinking about that, actually, about how we currently are set up in terms of our ways of working and our 9 to 5 and in our current kind of structures that we're in. And maybe not everyone's like this, but maybe people operate differently. But from what I've seen, maybe you're trying to force things a bit too much in the kind of current work structures that we've got. And actually there is just an argument of actually humans' brains don't work like that, and actually to think a little bit differently. And it is getting out into the pub to have a real honest conversation, because in that environment you do talk and think differently, and actually you can get into the meat of the bones around strategy. And in creativity, it might be what you do, Paul. It might be a walk or a hike where you're pondering the latest idea around that strategic brief that's been developed because got to work in the pub, and then someone's gone off, the creative team have gone off and gone for a hike, or that kind of thing. And it just got me thinking, actually, do we need to rethink and rejig and just be open and honest about actually how the human mind works, and how we should probably be working slightly differently, maybe in the marketing sphere, or in just general kind of day-to-day work. I don't know. That's just been.
I think you're right, Warren. I don't think there's any maybe about it. I think we definitely should. And funnily enough, I've been reading a book. At the moment, I'm partway through it, and their contention is that when industry was transformed by the idea of mass production and the productivity increases that delivered, the white-collar world tried to emulate that approach to efficiency and productivity. And of course, it's difficult to do that because we don't sit on a manufacturing line making widgets. We talk about ideas. And that led to these proxies for productivity based around busyness, linked to documents, linked to meetings, linked to nowadays emails. And of course, that's a false way of looking at productivity. And of course, there's a role for that. But it's very much saying that we need to slow down to go faster, and we need to take time to think. And productivity should really be measured in the impact of the ideas we have, as opposed to the effort that goes into creating those ideas. So I think you're onto something. I think.
Yeah, what you said there, I've read about that as well. She was still living in sort of the after effects of the Industrial Revolution, right? Where you said things were very much formatted around that, and how you can produce on the production line rather than in the world we are today. So I think there's something in that, and that's the thought I'm taking away this week for me. Like how perhaps doing things differently and leaning into that a little bit more.
Brilliant thought. I'm with you 100% on that. 100%.
Great stuff. Well, I'm interested to hear what you're up to this week, Paul, because you've always got something interesting you're doing. You're usually flying away somewhere, or you're in London, or doing something really fun.
I'm not travelling anywhere for a bit, which is great. I'm very happy about that because I love going to work with people and see people, but I like everybody having a bit of routine.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at what's coming ahead. There is a lot happening this week. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of interviews, a lot of discovery. But I'm moving through that phase, quite an interesting phase, where in my work, you get set a challenge, and then you have to do some discovery to understand the facts, and then you form some hypotheses and you start to test them. And then you start to say, well, what does it mean? What do we propose? So, for example, some work I'm doing around a perception that there's an opportunity to build skills. Well, the first stage has been to do some bit of survey work to see where the team feel they are on their skills, some interviews to get a sense of what might be underpinning the gaps they've identified. And I'm now starting to move that into what does that mean? What are the insights that I can share with the customer in terms of where the skill gaps are and what they might do about filling them? And I've got several activity areas where things are getting towards that. Okay, we now understand, we see where the gaps are. What does it mean? What can we recommend? And those are going to build to a crescendo towards the end of this month, which is where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
In one sense, in that the customer is then making decisions about which skills to focus on, which value propositions to promote, how to set up the marketing team more broadly. So it's quite an interesting time. It's a sort of it's quite a hard thinking time because you've got to think very hard to get to those conclusions. But it's quite rewarding when you share back with the customer and the customer feels that there's some insight and some fresh thinking there that will help them. So that's the plan ahead. And just looking at the diary, do you know what? It's not too bad because I've learned a trick, and I've started booking off slots in my diary to do thinking work.
There you go.
Yeah. So from 11:34 till 11:36, I'll think.
Yeah.
No, it's more than that. It's like half a day. You're like half a day. I'm going to think about this, and without the pressure of anything else, I'm just going to. Think
what do you do to help you think, Paul? Do you go and mow? Well, you can't mow the lawn at the moment. It's probably a bit wet, but are there things you do to help you do that?
Yeah, I let things cogitate.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in plant the seed in your brain and leave it overnight, and then something will appear.
Yeah.
And then I work very hard with particularly ChatGPT where I just ask it for the answer. No, I don't do that. I don't. Where I will create a hypothesis and evidence it, share the logic with ChatGPT, and then ask it to stretch it and challenge it, and then go through multiple iterations.
Yeah.
And I find that a really valuable way of getting from maybe a slightly one-dimensional perspective to something much broader.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's those things. Let things cogitate a bit. Use ChatGPT as a thinking partner, and then of course, that's only the preliminary to then have preliminary to having the discussion with the customer.
Yeah, and bouncing off someone can sometimes formulate that back further, can't it? So
yeah. So how about you? What's happening in your world?
I think we were on similar timelines, Paul. I think I'm doing a project at the moment, which I would have referred to before, where we're doing some workshops and we've done some market analysis and things. And we're coming to that point now. February is the month where it's all coming together. So we'll start to get the insights coming back from this work and the workshops, and then the survey we're doing with some audience survey work we're doing. So we'll start getting that back by the end of this month, and then we'll really it will be like almost getting in a room together to look at all this stuff and map it out and bring it together. So right in the heart of battle at the moment, I guess you could say. And then at the end of the month, we'll be kind of bringing that insight together. So yeah, I love this bit, to be honest. It's exciting, and I love bringing it all together. That is the exciting bit. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, love it, love it. Well, good for you. And also, I should say, I'm hosting a vegan hike next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So the more learning in the Surrey Hills. We're going to walk from Leith Hill Tower in a circle, and hopefully we'll finish with the same number of people as we started.
Lovely, great stuff. I hope that goes well, Paul. And I hope you have a good walk and a nice social walk, or bringing together of minds and people around a shared interest.
Thanks, mate. And you have a cracking week too.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Take care.